faculty, and most importantly, good afternoon, class of 2026. Thank you all for coming this evening and enduring the wet weather conditions for an hour to cheer on this amazing class as we take the next steps in our lives. When I first found out I had to write this speech, I honestly spent more time trying not to think about it than I actually did writing it. So when I finally sat down to write, I realized I had no clue where to start. It's strange. All the time that I spent writing essays in English, history, science, and even math one time, and I still feel unprepared. As it turns out, trying to fit 4 years into a couple of moments is harder than I'd hoped. There's one question my dad always asked me after softball games. Do you love winning, or do you hate losing? When he first asked me this, as maybe a 6 or 7-year-old, the answer seemed obvious. I like winning, duh, I'd say, because who doesn't? Everyone loves the adrenaline of scoring the winning run or hearing the crowd cheer as you cross the finish line. But as I got older and started taking the game more seriously, I began to understand what it really meant to lose. It's missing the shot that you practiced hundreds of times. It's making an 80 on the test that you studied hours for. It's putting everything you have into something and still coming up short. Because the more time, effort, and heart you invest in something, the more painful it becomes when it doesn't work out. And that's why this moment feels so significant. 13 years into school. 13 years of friendships, homework assignments, tests we forgot to study for, victories, disappointments, and memories will carry forever. 13 years just to suddenly come to a halt. But what I'm here to tell you tonight is that this isn't the finish line. It's just the starting point. Over the years, school taught us a lot more than what was written in textbooks. Science taught us that repeating the same experiment over and over again would usually produce the same results. History taught us the importance of learning from the past so the world doesn't repeat its mistakes. English taught us that redundancy becomes boring. And I'm not still completely sure what calculus taught us, but Miss Easterling has assured me that it's something important. The point is that the biggest lesson we learned was that life is constantly changing. New classes, new environments, new people, new expectations, new relationships. We spent years adapting to everything around us, and somewhere along the way, it became easy to believe that we had to change ourselves too. That's the challenge of growing up. The world keeps moving, and we move with it. It's a scary idea how much can change within just a couple weeks of your life. But scary doesn't always mean bad. Those moments of loss, disappointment, and struggle are what changes the most. They teach us resilience, humility, and perseverance. Change forces growth and adaptation. As we leave this chapter behind, maybe what matters most isn't holding on to who we used to be, but appreciating how much we've grown and trusting who we're still becoming. So, class of 2026, tonight we leave behind classrooms, routines, and versions of ourselves that we've outgrown, but we also carry with us every lesson, every memory, and every person who helped us get here. So wherever life takes us next, whether that's college, careers, the military, or paths we haven't even discovered yet, I hope we continue to embrace change instead of fear it. And to finish, and maybe to make my mom happy, I'd like to include a quote from Gilmore Girls. Look around for a second. Notice? It's not so scary anymore. Thank you.